How can I use a global variable in a function in Python? In Python, variables can exist in different scopes, comma, local scope, inside a function, global scope, outside all functions. Example, x equals 10, global variable. A very common beginner question is, how can I use a global variable inside a function? This topic explains what global variables are, how scope works, reading global variables, modifying global variables, the global keyword, best practices, common mistakes, alternatives to globals. This is a core Python scope concept. What is a global variable? A global variable is a variable defined outside any function. Example, count equals 0. It can be accessed anywhere in the module. Accessing a global variable inside a function. You can read global variables directly. Example x equals 10. Def show dot. Print x. Show. Output. 10. Why this works. Python follows LEGB rule scope meaning L local, E enclosing, G global, B built-in. Python searches. Local means global, means built-in, modifying a global variable. This is where things change. Wrong approach. X equals 10. Def update. X equals x plus 1, nature error. This causes unbound local error. Why the error happens? Python assumes x inside function equals local variable, but it is used before assignment. Correct way. Global keyword. To modify a global variable. X equals 10. Def update. Global x. X equals x plus 1. Update. Print x. Output. 11. How global works function scope. Declares global x, modifies global variable. Example, counter count equals 0. Def increment. Global count. Count equals 1. Increment. Increment. Print count. Output. 2. Reading versus writing globals. Action need global. Read variable. No. Modify variable. Check. Yes. Example. Without global, safe read. X equals 5. Def read. Print x. Hash allowed. Read. Nested functions and global. Global always refers to module level variable. Local variable shadowing. Example. X equals 10. Def func dot. X equals 20. Print x. Func. Print x. Output. 20, 10. Local variable does not affect global one. Why global variables are risky. Using globals can lead to no hard-to-debug code, no hidden dependencies, no unpredictable state changes. Real-world example, configuration value, debug equals false. Def set debug value. Global debug. Debug equals value alternative, return values, better approach. Instead of globals. Def increment x. Return x plus 1. X equals 10, x equals increment x. Cleaner, safer, testable. Alternative. Using class state, class counter. Def. Init. Self. Self.count equals 0. Def increment self. Self count plus equals 1. Check. Preferred in OOP design. Global variables in modules. Globals are shared across functions in same file. Value equals 100. Accessible everywhere in module. Common beginner mistakes. 1. Forgetting global x plus equals 1. Error inside function. 2. Assuming global is automatically writable. Python requires explicit declaration. 3. Overusing global variables. Leads to X spaghetti code. 4. Confusing local and global scope. X equals 5. Def f x equals x plus 1. Hashtag local error performance considerations. Global variable access is, fast, but design-wise, not scalable for large systems. Best practices. Use global sparingly. Prefer function arguments. Prefer return values. Use classes for shared state. Avoid mutable global state in large apps. When to use global variables. Constants, rarely modified. Simple scripts. Debugging tools. Configuration flags. Carefully. Simple definition, global variable. A variable defined outside a function and accessible throughout the module. Simple definition, global keyword. A Python keyword that allows a function to modify a global variable. Final summary. To use a global variable in Python. Reading, no keyword needed. X equals 10. Def f. Print x. Modifying, requires global, x equals 10. Def f dot. Global x. X equals x plus 1. Key idea. Python allows reading global variables freely, but requires the global keyword to modify them inside functions.